Hey, it's Brian. I'm going live right from the front porch. I'm trying to do this a couple times a week, more or less to connect with my audience, but also cover some things in real time. And I'm glad you're here to join me once again. A like and a subscribe does wonders because, once again, this channel is shooting for 500 subscribers right now, and you can be one of those original 500. That would do wonders for the channel. But today's conversation is going to really be about the Trump and Elon Musk dust-up. And I don't want to spend a ton of time beyond maybe throwing out a different idea. Maybe some of you might even be onto this, or at least raising some eyebrows about what is this dust up really about. So I asked the question, is this thing for real between Trump and Musk, or is it for show? And I'm going to present a couple of ideas out there to you, and your comments really do matter. Your thoughts matter, and maybe you can help the audience fill in the gaps, because I don't know if I completely buy everything that's being thrown at us. So let me give you a better example. So we can start off by saying that, of course, there is anger. Let's start for what's for real. There's anger over the budget. We know that Musk is pretty upset about his work at Doge, and the fact is that this budget, no matter which way the president tries to cut it right now, is going to be an increase in spending. And that was particularly what Elon Musk was against. But there's actually a little bit more to it, and it deserves a little bit deeper dive, because in this budget bill there are cuts into the EV mandates, right? And it's going to have a direct impact on his business. But even that, okay, that's a question mark, and maybe, just maybe, it's part of the fact that Musk took risks for the president, and maybe Musk looked for some kind of a political payback. That's Washington, D.C. politics for you, right? And there is a long history of people getting paid back for doing good things for whichever political party. And it's not just this presidency, it's every presidency in history. There's a couple of other things here that I think are worthy of mentioning when we're talking about this idea of for real or for show. The fact is that Musk does have some personal attacks against the president, right? And that is the one thing that maybe set off the red flag, saying this could be something that's actually real as opposed to something that's manufactured. But there's a couple things here, particularly that Trump's still doubling down on his anti-immigration talk. And this country, the United States, is a land of immigrants. Elon Musk himself is an immigrant. And of course, any kind of a technology company relies on immigrant type workers, because many of these high functioning people come to the United States for an opportunity. And the fact is that whether it's the Ivy League schools that are attacking immigrants, and of course presidential policy really putting pressure on various sources of higher education, these are things that, well, they deserve to be maybe in the for real category, right? And maybe one other thing I'd throw out there to you that's worth following is the fact that Musk has seemed to really kind of go into digging up a little bit of dirt on Trump, right? And I don't want to defame the presidency, but it's a personal attack on a list that supposedly Donald Trump's name appears on. And it bothers me, and it should bother any of us, but who knows if it's anger, who knows if it's rhetoric, and who knows all the particulars about these various lists and what the president might have, would have, should have, could have done before he was in office. So I guess if we're talking about, once again, Trump and Elon Musk, this big argument, this dust up being for real or for show, that's, I guess, what I could think of here as what's for real. And once again, maybe you have some comments, and please leave them below, because I do respond to every single one. Now, can we move on to the for show? Because I think there's a few things here that are worthy of talking about, and I'll do that rather quickly. I'm going to try to keep this live down to about 7 minutes, 8 minutes or so. So let's take a look here. Why could this possibly be for show? Well, think about it for a minute. Trump owns a social media channel, so does Musk. And this could really be a way to pound the table and get much more action on already busy social networks. Musk has his following and Trump has his following. So maybe, just maybe, this is all part of a show that's getting put on to increase ratings. Maybe it's a way to dig into their supporters and have their supporters come forward with new, different ideas that maybe aren't being shared right now. So it's just something else worth kind of throwing out there. I'm not 100% positive, but these are just ideas, and maybe you can kind of say, well, this could be true. Another thing to take into consideration is Elon Musk's company's stock has taken quite a beating. We're talking about the Tesla brand, right? And of course, we know that SpaceX isn't on the market yet. And I'd like to be part of that IPO. And if you can relate to that, give me a thumbs up, right? But the fact is that Elon Musk has to answer to a board of directors as the president of the Tesla company. And so he was a little bit too involved at once inside the Trump administration and got his fingers a little bit dirty with the Doge. And maybe these were some of the most important things he could do as a citizen to try to help move this country in the right direction. But let's face it, he became the poster child of Doge, and Doge wasn't necessarily popular, and maybe even some of the flippant attitudes that were shared during all the Doge cuts really are coming back to haunt Musk, and maybe just for pure business reasons, Musk is putting some distance between himself and the president. You'll note that the president still drives his red Tesla that's still parked at the White House. So I want to make sure you're aware of that this could be part of the, dare we say, for show portion of what's really going on. A couple of other things that I think are worthy of mentioning. In the president's plans, there is a plan to cut about 1/3 of the NASA workforce. And of course, more cuts to NASA means more business for SpaceX and the other ventures that are out there. And those rocket scientists, and we're talking about some really super intelligent people, are going to be looking for jobs somewhere else. And it just seems real natural fit that many of those people would come over and work at SpaceX. So with that, I'm throwing these things out there to you, and going live really has been kind of fun. It's new for me, and folks, I don't have all the answers, but this community here really has a lot of good to offer, and your subscribe, and hitting that 500 subscriber limit is maybe one of the original goals. But more importantly, on this channel, we try to do the simple things, which is to connect Wall Street and DC politics to people like us on Main Street, because at the end of the day, things seem to flow down, and it's Main Street trying to understand, and maybe these stories aren't even covered by big media channels, and that's why we have a channel just like this one. Hey folks, I hope you enjoy your day. I want to remind you that the biggest battle you fight is the one between your ears. Stay healthy, and thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next video. Have a great day.